Hello, welcome to the ODM English show. My name is Naya Harris, and I'm delighted to be with you again. I've got two fantastic guests that are ready to interview with me, and I cannot wait to share their story, their personal story, and their business story with you. So stay tuned.
I'm Francine Tia.
Okay. And?
Amber Mensa.
Okay, awesome. And you two are?
Prosperous AF.
Prosperous AF.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Okay, so Prosperous AF. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but I want to know who you are as individuals, right? And as best friends, and then as business partners.
Yeah.
So, Francine, I'm going to start with you. So tell me a little bit about you. Where'd you grow up? How many kids you have? Are you married? You know, all the things.
It's a lot. My life has been a movie, for sure. I am 30. I'll be 31 on Friday. Woot woot.
Wonderful.
Aries gang.
Wonderful.
I am married to my lovely Ghanaian husband, Omar. We have 4 children,
Wonderful.
12, 5, 3, and 10 months. And I grew up here in the Twin Cities. I was actually born in St. Paul at St. Joseph's Hospital. Okay. My family, though, comes from Liberian background. I am first generation American. My dad is Ghanaian born and my mom is Liberian born. My mom migrated here when she was 6 months pregnant with me. And we've been here ever since.
So Twin Cities is your hometown?
Twin Cities is my hometown.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have transferred over to be a Minneapolitan. I was originally in St. Paulian.
Okay.
But because we don't understand infrastructure and how to fix our roads, edit. I migrated over to Minneapolis. So I'm not stuck in my driveway, but I love St. Paul. I grew up in the Frogtown, Rondo area. It is an area that still is near and dear to my heart.
Sure.
My church is in Rondo area. I'm very connected to the Rondo Frogtown community. It was so impactful to me growing up, being a child of an immigrant, and being kind of immersed into Black American culture. I feel like that was a great starting point and a great community to be able to do that.
Yeah, lots of history in that neighborhood for sure.
Absolutely. People don't understand how rich the Frogtown Rondo history is. I encourage all of you to check it out on TPT. A lot of things that people don't know and how impactful Black American community has been in that community. And it's still such a large Black American populated community that's been able to thrive for over 60 years, actually probably 80 years. So I am very grateful that was the community I was introduced to growing up, because it allowed me to expand outside of what I knew, and to become a part of a great community, have wonderful friends and mentors that I still talk to this day. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, we're going to pivot and talk to Amber. Amber, do you have the same story, similar story?
I don't. I have a different story.
Okay. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so I am married and I have 2 boys, both teenagers. And I actually grew up on the West Coast. I grew up in Las Vegas. Okay. And then I moved to the East Coast where I met my husband. He was attending Howard University. I was not going to Howard. I was just having fun in DC. Okay. And then I met my husband, and we ended up getting married. We had a kid. He's now 20, and he is attending Howard right now too. So yeah, it actually came full circle. And then I have a 15-year-old, and he is now learning how to drive and starting on his own little independent path as well. So I am an accountant, trained accountant, but I like to dabble in all sorts of things like travel and entrepreneurship, and really love staying healthy and working out, and all the interests. So that's
awesome.
Yeah, so
that's awesome. What part of town are you in?
I'm in Andover, so I'm in a suburb, but I absolutely love the city. So whenever I come into Minneapolis, I'm just like, this is refreshing.
You're a city girl.
Yeah, I'm a city girl. Yeah.
I love it. Well, tell me how the two of you became friends. How did you meet?
Yeah. Would you like me to?
Feels like there's a story there.
It's a lovely story, and it's still evolving and blossoming, which is great. So Amber and I met at a nonprofit that we worked at here in Minneapolis about 6 months ago. And it was instant fireworks. I mean, kind of like when you meet like your soulmate or your partner. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed her last name when we were working one day. And I tend to shy away from just asking people like, hey, like, what's up with that Mensa last name? Because I'm Ghanaian, so I understand the meaning behind it. And we were having a conversation one day, and she was like, yeah, you know, my husband's from Ghana. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. She was like, yeah, duh, like Mensa, did you not? I'm like, hey, I wasn't going to assume. Yeah. I wasn't going to assume.
You can't these days.
At all. So we bonded off that, and I told her just kind of what my story was and how my dad is Ghanaian, and, you know, my mom's from Liberia, and we talked about foods that we liked, you know, from both nationalities, and we just hit it off from there. I mean, I was in her office probably 60% of my day, collabing and working with her at this nonprofit. But unfortunately for us, at that place just did not mesh with our spirits and what it is we were trying to convey to the world and the community. So we both exited. She exited probably 2-3 weeks before I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she headed out first, and I was like, I can't do this job without her. And I'm talking to her all through the day, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. So we left. We left them right where they were at. And then, you know, just being together every day and talking, we both decided that maybe we should start something for ourselves. Now, she approached me with the idea very hesitantly.
Okay.
Over drinks at a place that we probably will never go back to again. But she was just like, I've been thinking, and you know, she tends to be quite nervous sometimes when she wants to ask for things. And I'm just like, what is it? Like, spit it out. Like, what? And she's like, what if we, you know, I've been thinking, you know, I've been doing this entrepreneur thing, and I've been doing it by myself. And I knew what she was trying to get at, but I'm like, I'm going to make her spit it out. And she finally just came up. She was like, do you want to start a business with me? And I'm like, yeah, duh, I'm down. I was like, you couldn't have even asked any quicker. Like, duh, let's do it. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. Let's get on it. Let's do it. And I was down, and I could just see this relief come over her. And I'm just like, come on, if I was to ever start a business with anyone, it would be you, because Amber and I also talked a lot about entrepreneurship. We both have separate businesses outside of Prosperous AF. And we would just collab. You know, she's really good with systems and organization. So she was showing me some of the tools she uses within her own business. So I was like, duh, it's a match made in heaven. Why not? And that was January, 21st?
Yeah.
And we're April 8th. And
January of this year.
This year, 2025.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when I tell you, Naya, we have moved mountains that I could not imagine. The brand that we've been able to build in 4 months is, I think, kind of shocking and overwhelming to both of us, because we did not think that we would get this type of response, not only in the business, but surrounding the brand. And it just affirmed for us that we are a partnership that needed to happen and was meant to happen. So that is a little bit of our history. I know people think that we've known each other for 20 years, but realistically it's been 6 months.
Well, I mean, I just met both of you, right? So let me be honest here. I just met both of you in the last couple months. I would have guessed you've been friends for 20 years. That's very much how you interact with one another.
Absolutely.
So I'm a big believer in the universe, though, that everything happens for a reason. And even though that job didn't work out, right? Like you had to have worked there to have met each other.
Oh, I'm thankful every day that I embarked on that journey, because I am thankful that it brought me to her. In so many ways, not just in a business aspect, but like Amber is truly a sister and a friend, best friend to me. My kids love her. They admire her. Our families have just meshed so well. Awesome. It's been so easy. And I think our husbands think that we're secretly obsessed with each other, and we'll leave them and get married one day. Just with the amount of time we spend talking to each other. But we don't really care. I mean, she is literally my soulmate and my other half. And we translate that into our business with the qualities that we bring. It just shows that it works.
That's wonderful. Amber, I have to jump back for just a second.
Yeah.
So what was the hesitancy about in asking her, because you had such this great rapport, this great relationship?
Yeah.
Did you really think she was going to say no?
No, I didn't think so, but I think for a while I had been thinking about bringing a partner onto a business. I was actually trying to start a virtual assistant agency.
Okay.
And I knew that I had some missing pieces. I was at first looking for a partner who was like me, who was more in the systems, more in the, the numbers. And then, I just was like, no, I need somebody who's opposite of me, who is going to be kind of more of the voice that I feel that I don't have. So, I think that as I'm a firstborn daughter, and so I'm usually the caretaker. And so I usually tend to step back and just take care of everybody.
Sure.
And so sometimes I do find my voice is a little lost in what I want. But I think I was nervous just because she had already kind of, we had these separate businesses, but I thought, oh man, if we could come together and just create something, I think this is going to go really far. So yeah.
Well, I want to pivot a little bit and talk a little bit more about the business now. So that was a great segue. So thanks for teeing me up, by the way. That Prosperous AF. So tell me in one sentence, Amber, what is Prosperous AF? And I know the AF, if you caught that, Amber and Francine, right? But tell me, Prosperous AF, what is that?
Yeah. So we are still evolving, I would say too, but we are a company, a business that wants to help business owners with their operations become better businesses by helping them build their operational excellence to build wealth for their lifetimes, for their families as well.
Okay. Well, I think every business can get on board with that. Yes. Absolutely. Where do you see Prosperous AF going?
Yeah, so again, I have so many ideas sometimes too, but as of right now, we are very much operations focused. We want to go into merch someday too. We want to, I've thrown ideas of, a co-working space. So there's so many options out there, but we just want to see businesses grow and thrive, and and be able to at some point sell a business in order to make even more money. So
Absolutely.
So there's a vision out there, but we want to help other businesses create this wealth that they might not be able to do on their own. So we want to come in and help with their operations and build a better business.
We want to take them from chaos to clarity, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of the times business owners are so much into the day-to-day operations of their business, they forget that they're the visionary. And in order to have that vision and act on it, you need to have a plan, and you need to make sure that day-to-day stuff runs smoothly. Otherwise, you're the hub of information and no one else can do anything, and I have to do it because I know. It's like, nope, you need to set up these things so that you can bring people in to help you, so then you can retake your place as the visionary to be able to grow your business. There's a duality in what we want to do. Part of it was a big part of how me and Amber constructed our business was bringing this type of tool to businesses that have been neglected over the years. I feel like, especially within the African community, where there's a lot of entrepreneurship, we focus a lot more on that, just the sustainability versus growth, because they don't understand that there are multiple aspects to running a business other than just being physically present, working yourself to the bone. So we wanted to do that in two ways. A, by providing the services that we do through Prosperous AF, but then also the educational component of, these are some of the tools that you need when you're embarking on this journey. These are some of the things you need to hammer down on now so that growth comes easier in the long run. And that was key and instrumental to our heart. I have family members who literally are at their businesses every single day. Nothing wrong with grinding, but grinding forever is pointless. As an entrepreneur, I feel like when you invest your time on the front end, you want a return on that investment. And for me, outside of monetary value, the return of time is also key and instrumental. Me and Amber didn't jump in Prosperous AF thinking that we were going to work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. That's not it's not something that we can sustain. Our bodies deteriorate, we get older. We want to set things up now so it easy flows and we can do things that we care about, like spending time with our families, friends, loved ones, being able to go out into the community and, me talk and look good for the camera. But those are all things I feel get sidelined when you open a business, because you're so into this has to work. I have to make money. I have to be here. And it's like, no, you can do all those things if you set up the correct system. So
absolutely,
that was something we wanted to bring to a very neglected community. Just helping them understand and realize that those things are key and instrumental now versus down the line.
That's fantastic. Well, we're going to pivot for just a brief moment. We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we're going to learn about the high highs and the low lows. We know that entrepreneurship is a lot of this, and so we're going to come back and talk to you about that in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the ODM English Show. Again, my name is Naya Harris, and I have my fabulous guests, Amber and Francine of Prosperous AF. So before the break, I was mentioning entrepreneurship is a lot of this, right? A lot of roller coasters, high highs, low lows. Tell me what you've experienced in the last 4 months. What does that look like in terms of high highs and low lows?
Yeah, well, I would have to say some of the high highs have been meeting some really awesome people. We are just scratching the surface of our networking journey. And for me, I'm not the natural, out there, hey, how's it going? So it's taken me some time, but I can tell you that just meeting you has been, one of the highest highs. And, seriously. And, and then just seeing how other people are connected. I'm, back on LinkedIn, it was kind of neglected for a while, and I'm like, there's some really cool people out there. So that has been one of the greatest things. And I would say one of the low lows sometimes is just, we're in the beginning stages. So just burning out, my brain is just like, okay, I'm done for the day, So getting some crucial setup done with our business, but then feeling like I can't think anymore, and just laying down and just be like, okay, but also having all the ideas too. So my brain is constantly on. And I feel like that is probably one of the lows for me, is just never being able to relax in the early stages of this journey. So
sure. Well, one follow-up to that. So one thing that's probably feels amazing to you is that when you do feel like that burnout feeling, there's no one you have to report to, right? You're like, you know what, Francine, I need a nap.
And I tell her, I'm like, you better go and chill out. You've put in a lot of work today. Go relax. I'm not
the same thing.
Exactly. I'm not take the day, relax. We are our own bosses. So it's nice. Awesome. And I agree with Amber. I think our highs have been definitely networking and meeting new people. And I am the social bee of the partnership. So it's something that has definitely made me come back to something familiar. Because I feel like, post-COVID and all of that, I haven't had those meaningful interactions. We've all just kind of been surviving and streamlining. But being able to come into events and meet people like you, I mean, you were my first person I met at B3, and I'm like, yes, she touches my soul. She's my person. And I know we joke around and we're like, we're family now. Yes. You can't get rid of me. But just having those key connections and motivation and learning from people who have been on this entrepreneur journey for such a long time, getting tips and tricks and being able to brainstorm with like-minded individuals is something that I haven't had in a long time, and something that connected Amber and I. I tell Amber all the time, I love my friend group. They are very comfortable in their careers, and I just always felt the itch. The itch of, I don't want to be here reporting to anyone. I don't want to build something for someone else. And I get the short end of the stick. I want to build something for generations to come. So that's definitely been my highs. The lows for me it's just okay, it has to pick up. We're a business. I love meeting people. I love, interacting, but it's just getting over that hump, especially being a new business and having to put yourself out there and to convince people that you know what you're talking about. Yes. Pivoting from corporate has been the lows, but I feel like Amber and I have supported each other. We're taking these meetings like champions, and we're conveying, you know, what we know. She has 10 years of finance background. I have 10 years of human resources background. So those two together are wheelhouse and powerhouse all within themselves. 20 years collaboratively of experience. So just walking in confidently, knowing that something will pan out for us very soon.
Absolutely. I'm just going to offer you a bit of unsolicited advice, but I think you might find it helpful. I'm 2 years in, you're 4 months in. Stay the course. Stay the course. I'm telling you, I've had those moments too. Like, oh my God, should I just go back to work for somebody? But stay the course. It certainly will pay off for sure. And I'm super excited for you. And with this energy, this dynamic, yes, I see, shoot for the moon so you can hit the stars, right? Yes, absolutely. I want to leave you with this last question or final questions. Actually, 2 questions I have for you. One, you and I, Francine, have the Ghana connection. Correct. So my dad's from Ghana, your dad's from Ghana. Jollof rice. Jollof rice. You also probably know about the jollof rice. This is a thing in West African, because Liberian jollof rice. What else is there? Nigerian jollof rice. Like, this is a thing of the battle of like who has the best jollof rice. Correct. And so I have to ask you. I mean, I feel like I know what you're going to say, but
don't assume. Don't assume.
That's what I'm asking.
Because. See, the funny thing about West Africa, right, is Nigerian, Liberian, and Ghanaian people have this beef, right, of jollof, who has the best jollof.
Yes.
But being that my husband is from Guinea, and I've been able to experience not only Guinea culture, which is also influenced by Senegalese and Gambian culture, I unbiasedly have to say that Senegalese jollof rice is the best.
Senegalese
jollof rice is the best. It's the original. Okay. Now, second place, obviously, LIB. Come on. Liberian jollof rice. Mwah. Come on.
Okay.
If not a tie, like close second. Okay. Then I would say Ghana. But Nigeria, nah, I'm not getting with it. Sorry. Okay. I love you. I love all my Nigerian people, but Omo, that Nigeria rice is not hitting.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. It is a thing.
It is a thing. And you know, Liberia has taken the American National Jollof Rice Competition like 6 years in a row. So just wanted to put that out there. But I would say my first time having Senegalese jollof rice and understanding the history of jollof and where it originated from, it is, if you have not tried it, you need to.
Okay.
You need to.
Well, let me pivot. Amber? Jollof rice.
I'm going to go for Ghana. Mostly because that's usually what I have.
Okay, all right.
You know,
we're on the same page. Yeah. Well, I want to say, I want to leave you with this, that actually my last question that I want to ask you is, if you remember the Oprah magazine years ago, I believe it still exists, but it's like quarterly now, but when it used to be monthly, on the very last page before you got to the back cover, it would say, what I know for sure, which applies to like what you know for sure as it pertained to like the magazine, right? Like the topic for that month, right? What did Oprah know for sure? So I like to flip that question on its head and say, what do you know for sure? Just in everything you've experienced in all of your years, right? You're about to have a birthday, right? We talked about the 40s outside, right?
Yeah.
What do you know for sure? What do you know for sure?
I would say I know for sure that I have entered into the best part of my life. I have not, I would say my 31 years on earth have not experienced this much fulfillment and joy and confidence, honestly, because I know sometimes people think I'm automatically confident, but that takes some work in the morning. I put on a face when I step out, but internally I feel very confident in the steps and choices I've made within the past 6 months, and I know that we are destined for greatness.
Absolutely. Amber, what do you know for sure?
What I know for sure is, I think this jumps off of what you were saying, is just as you keep the course, as you stay consistent, you will get there. I'm now 42, and you know, just looking back on my life and there were times that I'm just like, I just can't go forward, but I make that next step, that even if it's a baby step, and you keep going and you keep walking forward, and whatever goal you have in mind, wherever you want to go, you will get there if you keep walking towards it.
Well, I do have a final question for you. To sum it up, what are the services that are offered for your business?
Yeah, so we are operations consultants, and we will help businesses find chaos to clarity, and help get them organized and continue to support month to month with leadership and with support services.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And Francine, is there a website?
Absolutely. The website is www.prosperousaf.com. We also are on a hub of social media platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, using the Prosperous AF name. YouTube is a little different. It's Prosperous_AF T21. If you want to find us on YouTube, we do a podcast weekly coming up on season 2. So we look forward to hearing from you all.
Fantastic. I will be checking it out. I look forward to season 2.
Why is having health insurance important? Health insurance helps you pay for visits to the doctor and your medications. You can get help signing up for free or lower cost health insurance. When you keep yourself and your family healthy, you help keep your community healthy. Find out if you're eligible for Minnesota Care today. Visit mn.gov/DHS/Minnesota Care to learn more.
I love that. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Oh, we love you, Naya.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Oh my God, I'm feeling all the feels.
My sister. This is my big sister, everyone, by the way.
Yes, this is little sister. Yes. And I just want to say this was delightful. I'm so excited to be the host of ODM English show, and I cannot wait to bring it to you again with another fun and exciting guest next week. So the thought I want to leave you with is to be kind, because kindness costs you nothing. And also, I just thought of one more thing. I need some merch. I need some Prosperous AF shirt, hat, all of that.
Period.
But thank you so much. Thank you for being my guest. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Egaa marti keessanuu akka nafne yaamamtanii jirtanii Oromoo diaspora miidiyaan qophii bohaarsuu fi bashannansiisuu isiniif qabatee dhiyaachuu jira. May 24 Continental Restaurant and Event Center itti Friendly jechuudha. Asistoonni keenyallee qophii isaanii fiixanii jiranii isin bohaarsuuf bashannansiisuuf. Daayitee mokonnin maaluma yaantaalu as bayiko akkasumas immoo Nugusu Taamiraat Fageenya na dhoowweef malee siyaduun dhiisne haadha koo malaan godhaa garuu fageenya hamaatu kaanagaan ta'e. Akkasumas immoo Yisaaq Zeenuu yeroo jalqabaaf Ameerikaa keessatti perform godha sirba Jimmaa. Akkasumas Oromoo Student Union fi Oyaan perform godhu DJ waliin marti keessanuu yaamamtanii jirtanii Continental Restaurant and Event Center May 24 akka nafne bye.
Inshuraansa fayyaa qabaachuun maaliif barbaachisaadha? Inshuraansa fayyaa doktora bira yeroo deemtanii fi qoricha keessan kafaltii isin qarqaaruu danda'a. Inshuraansa fayyaa bilisaa yookaan gatii xiqqaadhaan galmaa'uu fi deeggarsa argachuu dandeessu. Yeroo ofii keessanii fi maatii keessanii fayyatti eeddanii hawaasa keessanii fayyaa akka qabaatu qarqaartu. Minnesota Care fi ulaagaa guutuu keessanii hadhaa ilaalaa. Caalatti baratuu fi mn.gov/dhs/Minnesota Care ilaalaa.
Warri kun onarra.
Mana bitachuuf yookaan gurguruuf yaada qabdu yookaan mana bituun bu'aa argachuu ni barbaaddu. Yoo yeroo jalqabaaf kan bitattanis ta'e yookaan manuma qabdan gara guddaatti yookaan xiqqaatti jijjiirrachuu feetan gartuun Saamu'eel Birhaanuu Integrity Reality isin gargaaruu danda'u. Lakkoofsa bilbilaa 763 744 8362 irratti bilbiluun quunnamuu dandeessu. Saamu'eel Birhaanuu Integrity Reality.
maatiin kee karaa Minnesota keerii inshuraansii fayyaa argachuuf ulaagaa guutuu kan dandeessan yoo ta'u, Minnesota keessa kan jiraattan, daangaa galii kan guuttan, filannoo inshuraansii gatii madaalawaa kan hin qabne yoo ta'edha. Odeeffannoo dabalataaf mn.gov/dhs/Minnesota keerii ilaala.